blind home, one of the major problems they face is having to eat daily independently. As right now, for the children to eat, they require a lot of assistance and attention, and a lot of food gets spilled and they can't finish off their meal by themselves. So to gain independence and encourage eating, I've designed this bowl so they can develop skills and learn to eat independently. The main challenge I faced was the communication between the children. One, partially because I don't speak Thai, and because a lot of them have learning difficulties, so even if I could speak Thai, communication of what works well and what doesn't is difficult. I think we all have a duty as designers to try and make lives better for other people, and in this way we can help by it. I think one of the major benefits of displaying our work in the impact arena is getting feedback on what other designers who have experienced a lot more years than we have, or what they feel that the product can achieve or have potential to achieve, and get your product on the market.
So my project is trying to resolve the back issue that a lot of the kids at the blind home have. So their backs are curved, and in the long term their postures will be crooked and their bones will start to stick out. So I'm trying to resolve that by adding an accessory to the current chair they have at the house. So my target market in the blind home is children who have impaired vision and are autistic. So the main issue is like they don't like to sit in the chair for a long time. So I had to find a way of having them enjoy sitting in the chair and let them stay for a long period of time. Well, first of all, it's a good thing that we're helping other communities that are less fortunate to us. So it's giving back to the community. So it gives us real life examples of like what actually displaying your product in the real world are, and it also allows us to see what other people are trying to do to solve maybe similar issues that we're trying to solve in our IBDT project. It's just a good experience of just how the real world works.
So with my product, I'm aiming to create a water bottle, a specialized one that will assist the users who have a disease known as cerebral palsy, where it is a condition which is a muscle deficiency in the users. So with this specialized water bottle, that will assist them in holding the water bottle up and drink it. Because the children are blind and they also have cerebral palsy, the water bottle needs to be easily recognizable as well as not too heavy for them. I think that designers have to make an impact on someone, and that's a goal of designing. So in designing this for the blind home, I think that we have a good goal that we try to aim and achieve. I think it's a good practical situation to be in, where we get to see a lot of what other people think about their design projects and what their goals in trying to achieve this design are.
So for our project, I had to design a toothbrush holder for blind students, and it was supposed to help resolve the problem of them not being able to identify their own toothbrush. So we had to make use of symbols and the use of their bathroom space. The main problem was space, because the bathroom that we had to work with was like very small, so the dimensions had to be pretty accurate. So as designers, we have the obligation to help those who are in need and like less fortunate. So designing this would help them and raise awareness overall.
What are the benefits?
This will benefit as this is a problem that's still growing, and it's something that we have to raise awareness and help people around the world and in Thailand.
So currently in the Christian home for blind children, they are reliant on the caretakers to shower by themselves, to wash their bodies, to wash their hair. And there's also no storage room for the detergents or shampoo bottles because the space in the toilet is really limited. So what I did was I created a design model which helped resolve the problems of spatial issues, and I also designed a product which allowed the kids to identify where each different shampoo bottle or body wash is, so that they can rely on themselves and become independent to do these daily routines. The challenges I encountered were basically the dimension constraints. So because the toilet was extremely small in the home, I was only limited to a certain amount of space, which was very hard because shampoo bottles and body wash bottles were slightly large, and to be able to store them in a place and still reserve space for other things was a big challenge. I think as designers we have an obligation to help those that are less fortunate than ourselves, so to help those that are in need and those that are less privileged than us. I think displaying our projects in the Impact Arena will further raise awareness about the growing issue of children that are blind and people that are unable to do these daily routines. And I think displaying this project in the Expo will also further help showcase young designers such as myself, our ideas to the world.
The first time I went to the blind home, I noticed that these kids, they'd throw their toys and that they'd never be able to retrieve them again. So basically with my project, I'm trying to solve the problem of maximizing their time playing and learning, as playing with toys is a crucial part of learning and developing skills. The main challenge was to essentially empathize and kind of put myself in their shoes. Not only are they blind, but they're also physically disabled, so kind of with my project, ensuring safety and that they're actually able to function and use it well, like together, cohesively, it was kind of a challenge. This is important because I think helping those that are unable to help themselves, or if us as designers are able to kind of make it easier for them, that is really important to do. A benefit of this would be to encourage student designers, as we are the only high school being there. It's a great way to kind of encourage young students to get involved in design and help socially and responsibly.
So my BDT project, I'm designing toothbrush holders for the children, and when we went to the blind home, we observed like their daily routines, and one of the caretakers informed us that they have great difficulty placing their toothbrushes in the holders and understanding which one is theirs. So with my project, I'm using different symbols so they would identify their toothbrushes by using touch. So they would touch their specific symbol, and that would help them take out their own toothbrush. When designing for blind children, you have to kind of understand what they go through on a daily basis and what they feel. So it was very important that the symbols on my toothbrush holders are ones that they would be able to understand when touching them. So when we went back to the blind home the second time, I put in front of them a variety of symbols, and by that I observed how they worked with them and understood which ones would be easier for them to use. And yeah. I think it is important because we get to use our design skills and the facilities that we have in school in order to be able to create products that would help the ones that are in need and the less fortunate ones, and also it would make a great impact on society today.
What are the
I think it shows it presents people with the social problems that that Thailand has, and maybe encourage them to also be very mindful of the ones that are in need, and encourage people to contribute more in the lives. If they can help the ones in need, it would encourage them to help them, and it would maybe give some creative ideas to the other designers that are present at the exhibition too.
So with my project, I'm trying to create a product which would allow to enhance the function of the drinking for the blind students. In order to do this, it will make it easier for them and reduce the amount of spillage that they use within the cup every day, because the cup only obtains a handle, one piece of handle, which is no bigger than 4 centimeters. And with them not being able to see the handle, this will make it hard for them to pick up the cup. And from my analysis, I have realized that they use both hands to pick up the cup, but with the handle being in place, it results with them making it harder to pick up the cup. And for this, I want to try to improve and enhance their skill in the function of drinking. One of the main problems that I've encountered are mainly trying to fit the sizes for my product, because I want to create a product which is attachable and detachable. I have interviewed a couple of teachers as well as students in order to analyze their preferences, and from this I can see that they would like to have a product which is attachable and detachable. So from that instance, I have to create something which would be able to fit the cup easily. I think that we have to look at this aspect because it's very important to give back to the community, and in order to because they are born with disabilities which they didn't interpret for, and we have to help them in that sense to aid their function.
What are the benefits of displaying your project work at the Thailand Friendly Design Expo?
I feel like displaying my project at the Expo will allow us to enhance and create awareness for the product in order to help children with disabilities, so that people are more aware of the problem at hand, and from this products could be created nationwide in order to help people with disabilities. And I feel that it's our best of interest to give back to the community.
So the main problems that we're trying to solve is we're trying to make it, our main goal is to try to make it easier for visually impaired people to go about in their daily lives through the use of design. The main challenges that we have encountered is trying to put ourselves in the mind of our target audience and trying to take into consideration the various difficulties that these children face in their daily lives, and then try to convert that into design and different demographics that we'll be using. Because I think that it's very important for us to give back to the community as privileged students who are able to have all these tools at our disposal, and try to make something good of this and give back to the less fortunate. I think by displaying our work at the Impact Arena, we'll be able to reach a much bigger audience, and we'll be able to help a much larger number of people who are in need of this product. And it'll also be a good way of raising awareness of how design can be used to help others who are less fortunate, and how important design is.
My IBDT project is aimed at helping blind kids at the blind home place their toothbrushes back by themselves without the assistance of a carer, which currently they are not able to do. When designing for the blind home, the main problems I encountered were to do with, the main one was to do with the hook, in terms of allowing the children to place the toothbrush within the hook without being able to see the hook as they're blind. So as a result, I had to come up with a way that would allow them to slide it in and would allow them to make sure that the toothbrush was held securely when it was inside the hook. I also had to create an identifier system so that the kids would be able to identify which hook was for their toothbrush and later be able to find their toothbrush on the hook. I think it's important to look at socially responsible design, because as designers we have an obligation to help people around us and to help the community around us, and by doing this as part of our IB project, it could allow us to continue doing socially responsible design or socially responsible actions in the future, and it will help the blind kids that we are designing for in their everyday life. Displaying my project at the Impact Arena will allow us to show the importance of bringing more school designers to these kinds of events because we have a younger, fresher ideas and the takes on solutions to problems, and also it allows us to raise awareness about socially responsible design and the importance of it, which could help hopefully influence other designers who are more experienced in the field.
Right now, one of the main problems I'm trying to solve is actually my product being able to hold onto its allocated spot. So in other words, I need to make a tightener or some way so that the product can hold onto the table, which I plan to use the product on, or the product design for. Safety. Designing the product so that it's safe for the carers is actually the easy part. Designing it for the blind children is a lot harder because you have to take into account that they don't actually see the problem, it's more they feel it. Yes, somewhat. It's important that you design so that there isn't it's important to design the product so that it actually doesn't cause any large impact when it comes to interaction between the user and the product, and also between the blind children and the carers. One of the benefits of actually displaying the work in the convention would be that I would be able to get feedback from people who actually design products for the blind for a living, and that feedback would be beneficial to both improving my design and actually making sure that I'm actually heading towards the right direction when making the product.
ตอนผมดีไซน์ขาตั้งใช่หัวที่พักหัวสำหรับเด็กนะครับปัญหาที่ผมเจอหลักก็คือตอนดีไซน์ออกมาแกนหลักมันสั้นลงไปหน่อยกว่าที่เราคำนวณไว้เลยคาดไม่เดาไม่ถูกว่าถ้าเด็กนั้นเวลามาใช้โมเดลของผมนั้นมันจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นหรือมีรูปร่างลักษณะยังไงนั่นแหละปัญหาที่ผมว่าแก้ปัญหามันค่อนข้างยากนะครับเวลาดีไซน์สิ่งของให้กับคนตาบอดเพราะว่าเราไม่รู้ว่าเขาใช้อะไรในชีวิตประจำวันอยู่แล้วเลยพยายามที่จะผสมผสานความเคยชินของคนทั่วไปกับสิ่งของที่คนตาบอดใช้อย่างเช่นของผมก็คือเป็นเป็นการวางกับเก้าอี้ให้คนตาบอดนั่งแล้วมีความสมดุลมากขึ้นเลยครับความสำคัญของการดูเรื่องของ let's do it again ผมว่าความสำคัญของการที่เราออกแบบดีไซน์สิ่งของพวกนี้ไม่ใช่แค่ช่วยคนตาบอดอย่างเดียวแต่ว่าทำให้คนอื่นได้เห็นถึงความสามารถของดีไซน์เทคโนโลยีที่สามารถส่งผลต่อคนอื่นๆได้ทั่วโลกครับสำหรับผมแล้วผมว่าการที่ผมได้โชว์เคสโมเดลของผมนั้นเป็นการสร้างจินตนาการให้คนอื่นๆได้มาสัมผัสกับโมเดลของผมซึ่งทำให้คนอื่นอาจจะสร้างจินตนาการใหม่ขึ้นมาเพื่อทำผ
โปรโตไทป์อื่นๆสำหรับเขาเองหรือความรู้สึกหนึ่งของผมก็คือผมสร้างพวกนี้เพื่อให้ผู้คนได้เข้าใจว่ามันสำคัญมากขนาดไหนสำหรับการดีไซน์พวกนี้ให้กับคนที่ยากไร้หรือคนที่พิการทางด้านสายตาแล้วก็ผมว่ามันเป็นการเป็นประสบการณ์ที่ดีในการที่ไปโชว์เคสของเพราะว่าผมว่าการที่เราเรียนอย่างเดียวมันไม่ค่อยจะมันไม่ส่งผลเท่ากับการที่เราได้มีประสบการณ์ทางการ
Well, one of the main problems is for the blind children is the process of eating. So the transfer of food from the bowls to their mouth, it's not perfectly smooth, and they have to rely on the carers to help them. And this is due to the nature of the curved sides of the bowl, as well as their motor skills in maneuvering the spoon around the bowl. One of the challenges was obviously communication because blind children, they're visually impaired, which means that they can't communicate that well. So I have to rely on the carers for information as well as the testing and all the feedback. Well, as a member of the society, we have to be aware that some of us are more privileged than others, which means that we should help the less fortunate and in such that we design products to help them in their everyday lives. For the display purposes, we'll get lots of feedback from different clients, as well as we can take on that feedback to further improve my product. And just another reason is to see how the product fits in with the rest of the community.
At the Blind Foundation, I found that the majority of the students were often wandering around and getting off of their seats. And as there were 5 students to each supervisor, the supervisors found it very difficult to manage all of them, especially as they're visually impaired. They keep walking into things such as the sharp corners of tables. So I wanted to design something that would, in a way, encapsulate them so that it would limit stress onto the supervisors. The main challenges I encountered was getting feedback back from the supervisors and from the students themselves. Our second trip was based on how, with our designs, we'd go and test them out. But based on the feedback, because the students weren't able to react to the design that I did, especially because it was a clip that was going to be attached to the existing chairs, I found it difficult to understand how to change it, and especially understanding their disabilities and how to accommodate my design to their needs. I think it's important to understand the socially responsible designing because as design students we're privileged enough, we're in a privileged position to be able to design for others, and it's important to understand the wider community, especially because our means of helping them could be through design, because all of us are very passionate about design, and so I think it's really important to give back to the community, but also through the means of design, which is what we're also passionate about. I think it's important because it allows us to gain insight, especially through professionals, because there might be manufacturers or other designers who have more experience than us and they're more accustomed to design and the design environment. And so by getting feedback and advice from them, it allows us to not only grow as designers ourselves, but to also improve our final product.
So as we're working with the children who are blind and autistic, they are very dependent on their helpers with navigating around school. So what I'm trying to achieve is to create a navigation system to allow them to be more independent. So again, working with the blind and autistic children, it makes us think about aspects we wouldn't think about usually. So for my project, I had to consider new ways for them to interact with the product. As a privileged DT student, I think it's very honorable to design projects to help society so that it could potentially improve someone's life. So it's beneficial to us as it allows us to look at other people's projects and to receive feedback which would help improve our own work and make it better.
In the blind care home where our school went to, the children which are mostly visually impaired or blind, and so they have white canes to help guide them. However, there aren't any storage units for these white canes to be placed in, and so they're just left lying around the room anywhere. This is called strip hazards, and it's also hard for them to find their own canes as a result when they leave the room, especially since each child has their own individual cane designed specifically for them. And as a result, my product aims to be a storage unit for the children to put their canes, but not only that, have a matching mechanism which will allow the children to pinpoint their own individual canes and distinguish between the other canes. There were many challenges such as communication issues because the children spoke Thai and they couldn't exactly see our product, so we couldn't get feedback easily, and we had to talk to the carers. And not only that, the carers, most of them also spoke Thai, and the ones that could speak English were not so good. And another of the problem was finding a proper matching mechanism that the children will be able to use to distinguish between the different canes. Because for example, when I had to use shapes, I had to see which shapes they could tell just from touch, and which they couldn't, which textures are right for them, which aren't. The importance is that we're designing for blind children, and as a result, the aesthetics isn't so important because they wouldn't really be able to see anyway of how it looks. The main goal of this is to make sure that the product functions, that the children are able to find their canes, place it where they want, and form comes later. Well, there are many benefits, but I believe the main ones are to get feedback from everyone. There are going to be a multitude of people with their own products, designers, thinkers, and as a result I can see their opinions to improve my product, and also to look at their products for probably inspiration and advice as well.
Well, I'm designing for children who can't really see, so I'm finding a way for blind children to identify their toothbrushes, and I did it in a way so that I use shapes. These individual shapes are different, so the children can identify their own toothbrush holders and see which one is theirs. And I have to find a way to make it compact so that it is easy to assemble and it's really portable for the carers there as well as the children. And it's also designed for disassembly so that it is easy to wash whenever necessary. Well, I'm trying to maximize the possibility for the children to find their slots so that they don't accidentally put it in different ones that's not supposed to be there. And as I said earlier, trying to make it portable and compact so that it's easy for the carers to take it apart and put it together again without any problem. Well, the user, both the carer and the children, have to feel comfortable when interacting with the product, and it has to be intuitive so that the children can easily understand the concept and the purpose of the product and how is it supposed to help them. It's good to learn the marketing side of the course, and it's also good to learn, to have a look at the real world and how people market their products, as opposed to just studying the course in the IB.